Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another session of podcast. I wish and I'm sure you will enjoy listening to the broadcast.
What is the nature of oil? What is oil?
Okay, oil is the fat component of both the plant, animal kingdom, plant kingdom, and even in us we have so much of fat. When it is melted, it's oil. If you see all the seeds, they hold oil. If you see say for example, if you take a teak wood, it's a structural material, cellulose, but then it has a life, right?
Right.
So you make a window or a door out of it. It stays for hundreds of years. It's because of the oil content in it. Oil content of the fat molecules, which are part of every living organisms in the world. That is what is extracted as oil for us. We extract oil from coconut, peanuts, gingerly, that's the season, and walnuts, corn, many sunflower, palm oil these days in the last 30, 40 years or 50 years, which is a kind of a palm tree in which we get a seed, we take that and take palm oil. So these are all the edible oil which we use.
Right.
For oil is the one which gives taste to every food that you cook.
I was coming that the role of oil in food and nutrition. So obviously, the same wheat we make a chapati, and the same wheat you can make a puri, and the puri tastes better. So as you say, oil gives taste to food. But what is the role of oil in food and nutrition apart from taste?
Oil is most important. That we need carbohydrate, protein, and fat. Basically, fat comes to us from oil.
From oil.
You do have fat components lesser in vegetables and so many other components as a food material that we cook and eat. But predominantly we use oil for our fat. See, if you take a human being, we are also we accumulate fat. So rather 40% of your fructose intake converted to fat, which leads to your obesity or whatever you call it. If you take a fat molecule, it is a dense material. It is 55 atoms of carbon, 106 atoms of hydrogen, and only 6 atoms of oxygen. So C55, H106, and O6. But then the fat that is also by glucose metabolism can be converted to glucose. And the human brain uses a lot of the fat components coming into us as an energy fuel, conversion of that into their fuel for the neuron cells.
Okay.
So oil becomes represent in our cooking for taste. Oil gives the blend, oil gives the taste. Always the deep fried items are tastier for us. Yeah, tastier for us. But then too much of oil intake is not good. But lesser amount of oil intake is also not good. We need some amount of oil.
So what
all that butter and ghee and all that, they are all the fat component of the milk.
Right.
Which is extracted as butter and then from their ghee. Yeah.
So what's the right amount of oil or fat one should be having?
See, you cannot go for any measurement on all these things. Like you go through the modern science, they have gone crazy. I eat so many, body needs so many calories, 4,000 calories per day. One Coke is the 2,500 calories per day. If I take 1.5 Coke, it is all my calorie has come in. That's all nonsense. I need to eat only this much of oil. I need to eat only this much of carbohydrate. I need to eat only this much of protein. You cannot fix things on numbers. How can you fix things on number? When you get a delicious food, you would like to eat a couple of spoons more. Definitely. Yeah. If very beautiful chutney and sambar is made and the idli is hot and nice, normally if you eat 4 idlis, you will that day eat 6 idlis.
Yeah.
Right. So it makes you eat a little more. So we cannot brought down anything onto some kind of a quantity in terms. in a particular individual, as a human being, he should be good enough, brilliant enough to know what he requires.
Okay.
Say, for example, I work hard physically. I eat a good amount. You're going to stay all the time in the shade as a woman inside the house. You don't need too much of food. So how do I compare myself and you? How do I categorize people in this to put numbers? Correct?
Yeah, true.
A guy who does hard labor from morning till evening for 8 to 10 hours, who can eat any amount of oil here. So you should know what is required for you.
Okay, based on your lifestyle and your exercise, etc.
The ladies at home are the brilliant people. They know what the individuals at home requires. Yeah.
Okay. You've covered it a little bit, but if we can go about the role of oil in cooking specifically. You spoke about role of oil in nutrition, but in cooking, how is oil best used in cooking, and what should you know? How should you not cook with oil? I'm sure there are some basis on which you should not use oil.
This is a very important question actually. Oil has a limitation. Say for example, once the oil is heated for something, for some purpose. For example, you're going to make some deep fried items. So you take a pan, you put some half a liter of oil or 3/4 liter of oil to fry it.
Right.
Now you finish frying. Now this oil, when it gets cooled, it should not be heated up again.
Okay.
It becomes carcinogenic. That's been very clearly found in science. But in commercial industry, we don't do that. We keep on using.
Keep on heating the same oil.
So I left over with some oil for the day. Next day when I come, I add fresh oil into that and start. So I'm reheating the oil which has been heated for a longer period of time.
Right.
This is one. So whatever left over after deep frying, you must waste it. Or use it for any other purposes without heating it.
Without heating it.
Yeah, not that. Secondly, I don't know how people have found this olive oil. Olive oil does not belong to our country.
Right. I was going to come to that. I mean, it said that
olive oil should not be heated up at all.
Right.
If you see the European cooking and all that, olive oil, they sprinkle it on top.
They just dribble it on top.
Or brush it up.
Right, right.
It's eaten raw.
Yep.
It should not be heated up. I see the boards outside the restaurant. We use pure olive oil, good for your heart. You are inviting trouble. Because we don't do any of our South Indian or North Indian food without heating.
Correct.
So that's wrong. The best thing is whatever is your generation, your parents, your grandparents, if you are all used to some, peanut oil, you stick to that. Your body is, genetics is much better to welcome the fat component from that oil. Yeah.
So there's olive oil. I know, some. Even today, I think started a few years back, and people switched from cooking in their whatever indigenous oil, for example, sesame oil in the south, or peanut oil, or whatever oil locally, and they switched to olive oil, thinking that it would be better for the heart. As you say, it's detrimental, in fact, because your base nature is not going to, the nature of your body is not going to accept it, and it shouldn't be heated.
It is not like that, in a sense, like say you're stuck in a desert. You're starving for food for the past 1 week. You've not eaten anything. You can eat any damn thing and survive.
And survive, yeah.
For survival. There's no doubt. Not that body is going to reject something or body is going to accept something and all that stuff in that condition. But here when you come to oil, if you take the geography of the world, where you are born and brought up,
right,
that geography, what it gives you in and around you, is the best food for you.
Best food for you.
This is what you have to understand. If your parents, your grandparents and all are using coconut oil, for example, you stick to coconut oil. That's going to give you the better health, not switching over to olive oil. Commercialism Suddenly one day they came out and said iodized salt. The sea salt has got already iodine in it. What are you adding iodine?
Yeah.
One big firm in India were using the salt is more than 200 million metric ton is produced, marine salt, which is a lot of it is used in industries for various purposes. And after using, they go and dump it somewhere. It becomes a junk.
Right.
That big firm, we are wasting so much of tons of this thing, we throw it away. Why don't we pack it up and sell it? Let it give it to a laboratory and test it. The laboratory tested and shown that, okay, iodine is very high. Okay, we need iodine. Put one firm. Slogan, iodized salt. Like that, suddenly some brilliant fellow will come. Okay, I will bring in this and make money. So he will say, some research has done, olive oil is good for heart. You mean to say all the other oil are bad for heart, is it? What has oil got to do with the heart? Because of your LDL and triglyceride and all that stuff.
Right.
Who has proved that oil produces too much of LDL or triglyceride? Your fructose produces too much of LDL and triglyceride, not your oil. And oil is a vital. Suddenly one day they said, no, you must use less of oil. And all the women at home were calculating, I use only 1.5 liters of oil. Previously I was using 5 liters of oil. Now I have come down to 1.5 liters.
There is a fad of, I would like to call it a fad of a 1 teaspoon cooking oil. So in their entire meal, the oil content cannot go more than 1 teaspoon.
Yeah, suddenly one day they came out and said, no. Now recently they came out and said, no, you must eat enough of oil. So people are confused.
I think the best way is to look back at our generations, what our mothers or grandmothers did, and then just follow that simply.
Don't bother about all these things. You like something, you eat and go. The best is satisfy the brain.
Okay.
You feel like having a burger today? Have a burger today. Who's going to stop you? All 3 meals a day, every day you're going to have burger, is wrong.
That's a problem.
Once in a month you feel like having a pizza, please have it. They are not your enemy. You can have it. What's wrong in it?
Your body is made to.
Yeah, nothing wrong in it, nothing wrong. So where is the question of numbers and this and that and whatnot? Oil is oil, any oil. What you are used to it, you stick to it. Not. I don't think so. Olive oil should be used here at all. I'm strongly against it because you see the guy who produces the olive oil, he knows how to use it. You guys are bringing it here and making vada out of it. It's crazy. And you say it's good for heart. I don't know what all is going to happen to the guy who eats that.
Yeah. So, a small takeaway for our listeners. If you have to use olive oil at all, dribble it on your food and don't cook it.
Yeah, that's better.
That's better. So, coming back to the different oils, we have mustard oil, we have peanut oil, we have sesame oil, we have coconut oil, so many other oils, sunflower oil that is used in the country, indigenous. So, what's the best oil to use? I know you said locally, traditionally, whatever has been used.
Now, first of all, sunflower oil is not a food component at all. Do you eat sunflower?
No.
Have you ever eaten sunflower?
No, really.
Have ever humanity used sunflower in their cooking?
Never.
Then how do you take that oil and use?
Okay. That's a great
The amount of sunflower sold in India, do we produce so much of sunflower?
No.
No way.
No way.
Then what is it? I leave it to you. I know the truth, but I can't spell it.
Okay.
Just think.
Yeah.
The millions of tons of sunflower oil which is sold in India,
Right.
do we produce agriculturally so much of sunflower?
No, not really. Yeah.
Not at all.
And neither
Then
do we
what is it?
Neither do we import so much of sunflower oil.
Then what is it? I know what is it. Secondly, we'll go from here, the next point. See, peanuts you use in your cooking. You use for eating.
Right.
Coconut you use in your cooking, use for eating.
Yeah.
These gingerly seeds,
Right.
which we use in cooking, which we eat them,
Right. Mustard.
right? Mustard we use in our cooking, we eat them. So all the components what we eat, it's are all seeds from which we take the fat component by compressing it.
Right.
Remove it as oil. Since you eat that component as a food material, you can use that oil. But where is the sunflower you are using? Where is the palm oil seed that you are using in your cooking?
We don't
You
eat
don't.
any part of the palm oil.
It's all commercialism which led to this millions and tons of palm oil is produced in a particular country in Asia,
Yeah.
and 40% or 50% of it is sold in India.
Imported in India.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I think this is a good base rule when you're choosing your oil, is to see whether you eat the base component itself. Do you eat sesame seeds or do you eat the sunflower, as Sir said? If you do not eat it and it's not used in your food, then that oil cannot be accepted by you and should not be. So, coming back, so coconut oil is supposed to be one of the best and most highly nutritious medicinal oils. Could you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, there's a beautiful history behind the coconut oil. Coconut oil has been used for, hundreds and thousands of years by the human beings. Wherever coconut is grown. We all know about what's coconut oil.
Right.
Suddenly one day the modern science came and said, coconut oil is not good for health.
For the heart specifically.
That means in Kerala, everybody would have died many centuries ago. That should have been a barren land. Because morning till night they only eat coconut and coconut oil.
Coconut oil, yeah.
And all the medical experts here in this subcontinent started chanting mantras to the patients coming to all the doctors, don't eat coconut oil, don't eat coconut oil. If somebody say, jump in the sea and die, these guys all will go jump in the sea and die. You don't have your own brains, is it? Now finally, the Journal of American Medical Association, JAMA, it's called JAMA, in 2004 or 5 came, they apologized. What we said was wrong. Why that propaganda has been done, I don't want to spell it. Again, to promote certain commercialism.
Absolutely.
Okay? Coconut oil is supposed to be the most supreme food in the world. Do you know that? There is a particular component called monosodium lactate, which is a chemical component found only in 2 components in this world. One is mother's milk, the other one is coconut oil, which is supposed to be the component for your stepping up your immune system.
Okay.
It's also found by the modern science only. All the ancients, they know about all these things. We don't need to go into fragments. We know what will do good to people, what will not do good to people. They know everything. They have designed everything and kept. This modern science came and confused everybody on everything. We go to a internet site, we read something, we immediately accept it. We don't even look at the fact behind it. Say, don't eat chocolates, don't eat coconut, don't eat chutney, don't eat coconut oil, don't eat this, don't eat that. Then what do you eat here? You are traveling in a train, in any part of the world, in a long train. Okay, such lovely chocolates are sold. Will you not take a piece of it? Well, it's going to kill you, is it? No harm. These guys come and say, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do. Then what do I do? That was the most confusing stuff with this oil. Suddenly you say coconut oil is not good. Then one day later, 10 years, 15, 20 years later, you come and say coconut oil is good. One day you say coffee is not good. 6 years later, you come and say coffee has got this, it's good for cancer. One day you will say this oil is not good. The next day you will come and say this oil is very good. What sort of an information you are trying to feed in? As if the people do not know. We don't need to be a scientist for you to tell us which oil is good here. We've been using oils ever since the human generation has begun. See, coconut oil, if you take a tablespoon of 15 ml in an empty stomach in the morning every day, it helps you so much neurologically.
Strengthens
One of the most highest component in the world with monosodium lactate which gives you all the strength for your immune system. Step up all your physiological factors. There are many people who are practicing it.
Yeah.
Only thing you make sure that you get a good coconut oil quality without any chemical contamination. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen this personally as well, and the benefits of having coconut oil are enormous on the nervous system, as you say, on the bones, on the skin, heart, everything.
You see, in the brain, it's got 200, 300 crore neuron cells, which is approximately around less than 2 kilos. You know, there is something called electroconductivity of the brain. Today have machines which read that. Like after an electroencephalogram, you have machines which can read the electroconductivity of the
firing,
brain. Yeah.
right?
So oil is, the fat molecules are one of the major fuel for the brain as energy fuel to the cells. So coconut oil really helps you somewhere there. We don't need to go to details and see. Coconut oil is a harmless food that everybody knows.
Right.
And having 15 ml a day is nothing. There's nothing wrong. It is oil. When you eat a piece of coconut, there's so much of oil goes inside.
Right. Yeah.
You are only having it as an oil. That's all. It will not harm you.
It will not harm.
If it is going to harm you, the moment you eat it, either you will puke or you will go for a loose motion. That means you know that food component is not suiting you. You don't need a great scientist to come and go to the microscopes and electron microscopes to go to see molecules after molecules and say, this is going there, this is going. We don't need all that.
Yeah. Just listen to your body.
Yeah.
True. So coming to the topic of fats, we use different fats, especially in Indian cooking. We have oils, we have butter, we have ghee, with ghee playing a very, very important role in our nutrition. If you could explain us the difference between all of these three, and
we've been using the fat component of the milk is butter. From butter the ghee comes. Now ghee is such a fantastic food in the world, which we've been using so many thousands of years in India. Right? Maybe many parts of the world must have been brilliant enough, because a human being is a human being. A human brain is a human brain. It is not the Indians are intelligent, the Jewish are intelligent, the Chinese are intelligent. No. Everybody is intelligent. Everybody has a human body, everybody has a human brain, everybody has a human intelligence. Everybody to whom the nature gives you the gift to think, to research, to do anything you want. Right?
Yeah.
So ghee, suddenly I've seen, there's a huge demand for the ghee in India, because the Americans want all the ghee in the world. Because they found ghee is good now.
They found ghee is good.
Ghee is a good food. You can use ghee in your everyday food.
Should use rather.
Yes. It's supposed to be very, very good fat component to the body. Now there's a huge demand for ghee.
Right.
Where it becomes wrong, ghee. Ghee and jaggery together, so tasty, no good.
Okay.
Ghee and sugar mixed, no good. So the sweets.
So sweets, yeah, ghee.
Not good. You can have a mitai. There is no harm, but not too much of it.
So as a combination, it does not work. Sweet, that is jaggery or sugar.
The ghee and disaccharide carbohydrates are not good. Ghee should not be put in milk and taken, because there's a lactose there. Ghee put in a sambar rice and taken, ghee put in a khichdi and taken, ghee has been applied and made fulka. Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah. You make a gravy. You, instead of using oil, you can use ghee.
You can use ghee.
When you make dal, you temper the dal with ghee.
Right.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah, the taste is entirely different.
When sugar components come inside, ghee is no good. But unless ghee comes in, your mithais are tastier.
Yeah, they're much tastier, the flavor.
Yes.
Also, so ghee as a fat or as an oil does not spoil ever. Am I right? Or
oil is a protector. Oil keeps, suppose you take pickles. The oil which gives you a long life to the pickle. Simple.
Okay.
Oil is a preservative by itself, which makes your cooked food stay longer. But you are supposed to eat fresh cooked food then and there and finish it off.
Okay.
It's because oil is protecting your food. Your microbes are building on the other side as it keeps cooling.
As it keeps. So one last question: that a word that's been associated with oils is rancid. Can you explain us what is rancid? How does it affect a person?
Yeah, rancid is, the whole world knows about it. All fat component cooked food. Say, for example, all our snacks, deep fried snacks. The deep fried snacks, within 2 days, 3 days, maximum 2-3 days, the fat molecules start getting oxidized with the contact of air. So, even if it is closed and kept, they get oxidized. They give you a stale smell. You must have noticed that.
Yeah.
Your bhujiyas or your murukku, your chips,
True.
they all give a stale smell. That is rancid. It's already spoiled. You're not supposed to eat that. We still eat it.
Yeah.
Right. We have no technology to avoid rancid. Even cakes, which are cooked with a lot of butter and all that stuff, they after some small span of time gives you some stale smell.
Sure. Yeah.
You must have seen that. So wherever oil is involved, the processed food is cooked and kept for a longer period of time, within a few days' time, it gives you the stale smell because of the oxidation, which has already spoiled that food. That is why it's always better to cook and eat and finish it off, not to store. And for rancid, that's rancid. This word called rancid, RANCID, oxidation of that fat components in processed food which is cooked already, especially all the deep fried items. So some of the commercial groups use cottonseed oil for it. It takes a longer period of time for rancid. Cottonseed oil is not good for you.
It's not edible.
We don't eat cotton.
Right.
We don't eat cottonseed. So that's not good for us. It really spoils your bile regulation. Bile is very important for fat digestion. This is one. The second thing, to avoid rancid, they fill up the packets with nitrogen to stop the oxidation.
To stop the oxidation.
That's not good for you.
That's why all the chips, etc., packets are all puffed up and
You can make
ballooned.
You can make. That's why the ancients have brought in nanir. Nanir, if you take 20 ml for a kilo of flour, 20-25 ml, make your batter and do your deep fried. Even after 6 months, there is no rancid.
Ah, okay.
You have nanir at home?
Yes.
You can try it and see.
Definitely, yeah.
Whatever you make, like if you want to make om podi or you want to make mixture, whatever snacks you want to make, you take the batter, 1 kilo of chana dal powder, you're going to use say 200 ml of water, put 25 ml in that water and mix this. Make your batter and make your deep fried snacks, label it, seal it in a cover, put a label, sticker, the date, pack them into 50 grams.
Right.
Every week you keep taking one. Even after the 20th week, 25th week, it will be the same.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So for those of you who
Rancid has got no answer in the world.
Except
The
paneer.
Tamil saints, the ancient Tamil saints are the only people, to my knowledge, even the other parts of India, the heritage doesn't have answer for it. Nanir is the only answer for rancid as it stands today in this modern world.
Wow.
Which we've been handling it for the past 20-25 years.
That's great.
That's rancid. And to avoid rancid also, I've given you an answer.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for a wonderful session.
Thank you very much for spending your quality time. Thank you very much for your attention. I wish you enjoyed this session. See you later.